letter, not an email, to the village saying, hey, you need to have fire. You need to have music during it while it's playing or something, because for young people, for young kids, and also for senior citizens, And I said, I'm affiliated with the radio station, blah, blah, blah. If we ever need a music, I use my own music. I don't use the radio station music. And they wrote back, they called me up, and they're like, how much do you want? And I said, how much do I want? I'm a resident. I do it for free. You know what? So I've been doing it for all these years for free, 20, 25 minutes of patriotic music, whatever. And as a result, for the last 10, however many years, I guess it's after 2009, because my dad never saw me do it, I've been the host of the village tree lighting and menorah lighting, which is always the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So
you do it on a Saturday?
Which is
Saturday night.
Small Business Saturday. Yeah, it's Small Business Saturday.
Saturday night, hopefully.
It is Saturday night. Yeah, exactly. It's Saturday night. It's after sundown. Yes, exactly. So,
1 hour after sundown.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, we do. Well, no one knows that about Mr. Provato, by the way. Everyone thinks he's Italian.
I don't know what the end of his name.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the board. He and his wife are on the board of Solomon Schechter, by the way. It just depends on what town he's campaigning. So
is there like a Massapequa Park hostility between those who live in the Farmingdale side and those who live in the Massapequa side?
Well, let me tell you that. As someone who lives one house inside the Farmingdale School District, let me tell you that this particular week is the only week, because they had the Firecracker 5K the other day, and then they'll have the fireworks on Tuesday, and they'll have the parade on Wednesday. This is the only week of the entire year where Massapequa Park remembers that Farmingdale School District people exist in the village of Massapequa Park. This is the only time of the entire year it'll ever be. And it's funny, we don't have anybody on the board, no trustees on the board. Meanwhile, close to a third of the residents of Village of Massapequa Park are Farmingdale School District residents. So it's only, but yet it's all about Massapequa, because there's so many unincorporated parts of Massapequa Park where the kids go to Massapequa High School. But this is the only time of the year where they remember, oh my goodness, would you believe, we have Farmingdale kids in this over here. Wow, hey, even the newspapers or whatever. Yeah, it's just this week, which is, or if I ever ran for trustee or mayor, I would say I have 30,000 votes here we could get if we want to just bring it up. But yeah, exactly. So that, to answer your question, yes, this is the only time ever of the year that they'll even recognize that there's a part of Massapequa Park that's in the Farmingdale School District.
This is the 5K run.
5K run well, that's the other crazy thing. So the 5K run starts at the corner of Park Boulevard and Clark Boulevard, and some call it Clark Street. And it's right there there's a funeral home. Okay, it's the Park Funeral Home, I believe. Massapequa Funeral Home, right there. And that's the start, right? So there was a wake going on there the other day, which is kind of crazy. At the start of and the Sunday wake, 5 o'clock is when the race started. 5 o'clock is when you have hours. Usually it's like 2 to 5, 7 to 9, whatever it is. But they have a parking lot there. In the parking lot of the funeral home, they had 2 porta potties for runners and everything, which remained there for several days. So you're having this wake, and you're parking in the parking lot, and there's porta potties. It was just a weird kind of thing to see. I was like, it's that's kind of odd to see. Yeah, that was always the thing that my dad was one of the founders of the Village of Williston Park's street fair. That they in September they would always close down Hillside Avenue.
Whoa!
And what's that?
Closing down the whole hillside.
Yeah. And usually I'm trying to think. Usually it's around like the 20-ish, because he died on September 17th, so it was the 19th that year. But he always felt bad because there's Wygant's Funeral Home, which is overlooking, literally right there, smack dab in the middle of the street fair, right there. And he always felt so bad that someone would have to have, because you can't control when you're going to die, would have their wake with this thing going on, like family. So my dad accommodated that by dying on the Thursday before the street fair in 2009. So when we came in there to book the funeral home, we booked. So we died on the Thursday. So we had the visitation on Friday, Saturday, nothing on Sunday. And in fact, in the obituary, it says that nothing on Saturday, and then the funeral was on Monday. So Sunday, no family, because it was us, had to deal with the pain of having your wake while this craziness is going outside the funeral home. So it was just kind of odd the way that it happened. And then all the signs were dedicated to this, blah, 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 kind of stuff. But it was kind of weird. It's like he, in his infinite wisdom, died and ensured that no other family would have to put up with the crap that goes on in having a wake during the street fair. So
I guess that's kind of, unique in your way because you lived in 2 villages in your life where the school districts were split in the village.
But then there's totally different. Like, so I grew up in Williston Park, where you have both Mineola. Well, actually, Williston Park always had like 3 different, because you had the Catholic school kids, of which I was one, which had just as many kids. So it was Mineola and Herrick's, but we did everything together. 1 Little League, 1 library, 1 ambulance service, 1 you name it. In the village of Massapequa Park, where I'm in, you got Massapequa District and Farmingdale District. You have to go to the library that's in your district. So I have to go to Farmingdale, in your school, which is crazy. And I would have said 1 pool in Wilson Park too. And then your water could be, some people get Farmingdale water, some people get, I get Massapequa water. And then you have other things like the ambulance service. Some people have the North Massapequa Fire Department. Some people have Massapequa. I have Massapequa, the Park House. It's all divided. It's all different. It's based on where you, which is an odd thing to me, but that's the whole duplication of services we have. New York City has 1 superintendent, 1 school district. Long Island has 170, and you got assistants and this and that. The pension bomb.
Is it a good thing that New York City has 1 school chancellor?
Well, it keeps the money down. It keeps the
money down, right? But how about the decision making? Is if that one person makes a decision? Is that
well? It shows that it can be done, though. Yes. Here they go and show the areas and say, well, you know what's next door? If we have 1 district, you're going to have kids from that area going. No, you're not. You're going to have it. You keep it the way it is, where they still go. You live here, you go to that school. You live here, you go to that way. Now De Blasio is trying to make Stuyvesant be like
Bronx School of Science.
And like just be like
anybody.
Yeah, anybody. We're just like, wait a second, that doesn't happen. That's not supposed to be that way. So, but that's De Blasio for you, who I can't believe is still now in his 2nd term.
Which I heard he never gave condolences to the child from the Bronx.
Oh, Junior? No, he went to the wake. He went to the wake. He went there. Okay. He was there. He hugged every one of the explorers that were on the. That's just a bizarre story. That's a bizarre. And the mistaken identity, what they thought he was and who they thought he was. There was a kid who there was a sex tape or something of one of the gang members' sisters, and there's a kid who stands by watching, and he was the spitting image of this Junior kid, even right down to the same earrings he was wearing, and that's what happened. And they tore him from that bodega, and that should be a watershed turning moment to where people, because it looks like people are taking their neighborhood back, saying no more gangs. And this was not MS-13; this was a Dominican gang that did this kind of stuff. But it's just there's been an outpouring of love and support. So we'll see.
Where's a guy like Danny Almonte? Even though he should stand up for he was the most outspoken person in the neighborhood, and say
You're right. No, it's Satan Claus is out there, as I said before. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. That's the number to call. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. We've got about 7 or 8 commercial-free minutes of sports talk before Riley comes in with FM Punk from 11 to midnight, and you can hear Kevin Bonagura, Mark Tokatkovsky, myself, Chris Muldoon, along with Tristan Hamilton and Nick Ornberger every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. 100% commercial-free. You don't want to miss it. We do tweet. I went on a tweeting spree last week. I think I tweeted like 3 or 4 times. I had someone named Bonagura start following me on Twitter, so I was very happy about that. But then what happens is, the number one rule of social media is, if you can post it on your refrigerator or you can let your grandmother read it, then fine. If not, don't post it. So I start to tweet stuff, then I just backspace over, like, no, I don't want that out there. No,
do you know how to use all the features on Twitter? No. I know some other people in the sport industry only know how to use 20% of Twitter.
Well, no, I still think it's 140 characters, right? It's more, right? It's a double ad or whatever it is. I don't even know. I mean, Twitter does very well for sports guys breaking their, like Adrian Wojnarowski, right? He does quite well with Twitter, breaking sports news, breaking whatever, and certain presidents, I guess, either should tweet more or tweet less, depending on your side of the aisle. But yet somehow Twitter cannot make money. The stock Twitter cannot make money. They've not found a way to commercialize it. Whereas Facebook prints money and Google prints money and Facebook owns Instagram and all that stuff. But Twitter does not make money.
It's weird in a way, and I compare it to this. It's kind of like gambling in a way, sports gambling, because you're using somebody else's service for your benefit.
Right.
So yes. In sports gambling.
That's right. It's like all before you had to release press releases. Now you don't. Now every celebrity can give their thought. I'm so tired of hearing thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers go out.
Right, but they're using the service without a royalty.
Right, exactly. You're right. Yeah, it's just air. They're using the air. Yeah,
right. And just like sports betting, you can place a sports bet, but guess what? The league's not getting any cut out of that. Yeah. That's a big thing we didn't get into tonight. Actually,
NBA
the sports
just
betting.
re-upped silver, by the way.
The leagues. That's the biggest thing now with the sports betting. They want a national movement where they can get sports betting, where the league gets a cut of the bet.
Yeah, that's. Can't happen.
No, because you're using their league for benefit.
Well, I mean, I understand how stock exchanges get market data. In fact, it's my business. You get money because the trades are your advertising, but they're also actual trades that went off. So that information is the exhaust information is needed, and it sets the market. The sports score, nothing can be gleaned from it. It's just it advertises your games and contests. But the things for gambling, yeah, it is your thing. But that's the kind of weird stuff that if you want to get in bed with gambling, then you're getting that much closer to your players and your managers and your coaches and your GMs and your owners being involved in gambling. Because if there's going to be a shared piece of the revenue of the pie, well, then it's a very slippery slope to getting yourself in it. You want to have what they call an arm's length transaction. Like if you sell a house to someone you never met before, that's not a relative, not a friend. That's an arm's length transaction. You want an arm's length transaction.
And I got news for you. I think this sports gambling thing is going to be a big flop, and I'll tell you why. Because they already tried gambling once in Atlantic City to bring back Atlantic City from the time of the 30s and 20s during the 20s when the Roaring 20s Atlantic City was booming, and it didn't fix the problem. Look at other cities across the country that have been down. How do they come back with entertainment, with art, not with gambling?
I mean, it's the degenerate gamblers, and you know what you might have happen. But I guess they have to use your March Madness is where like Vegas tries to make their money with sports,
right? But it doesn't bring back a city on the permanent side, if you know what I mean. Yeah. What about a city like Asbury Park, New Jersey, that was down for a long time? They didn't try to put gambling in their city,
right?
They just did what they did best. What was that?
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah. Bruce Springsteen, who you can hear Sundays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Greetings from Asbury Park right here with Kim Tracy. Sundays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Where else but Lion? Not Your Ordinary Springsteen Show. Join Kim Tracy as she plays anything written, produced, or performed by Bruce Springsteen or a member of the E Street Band. Sundays, 1 p.m. Thunder Road. And right after that, you have Piano Man on 90.3 WHPC. And I thank you so much for letting us hear this because we are up against the close. So let me get our outro going with the closing music because Riley's up next right here on WHPC. Let me hit the button right now.
Wow, it feels like
All right, Cameron Bonagora.
All right, man, just don't do something stupid on Sunday.
All right, Mark Tchaikovsky.
John Tavares, do the right thing. Come back to where you know.
Go to San Jose.
No, come to the only place that you never played in the NHL before. It's only common sense. You get free bagels for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
San Jose is ready to win right now, actually. But, I'm Chris Muldoon. Don't forget to listen to Piano Man Sunday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., 90.3. Or go to the fireworks at Village Basketball Park on Tuesday or Eisenhower Park to hear Billy Joel Tribute Band. But the fireworks at Basketball Park, I do the music during the patriotic fireworks. All right, bye, everybody. It's in the areas, twitter.com/sports903. We will see you on the areas. Thanks so much for lending us your ears.